Alright, so if you're on Fedora 44 and you want to run Windows apps without setting up a full virtual machine, Wine is still one of the fastest ways to do it. It's not an emulator, it basically translates Windows system calls into Linux ones in real time, which is why it feels much lighter and faster compared to something like VirtualBox. Now the thing with Fedora is, installing Wine isn't just a one-click experience if you want the proper up-to-date version. The default repositories can work, but if you want the latest builds and better compatibility, the official WineHQ method is the way to go. So let's walk through this step by step, the way you'd actually do it on a real system. When you first open your Fedora desktop, the system doesn't yet know about WineHQ packages. That's why the very first move is about preparing your system. You're basically telling Fedora where to fetch the correct Wine builds from. Without that, you'll either get outdated packages or nothing at all, and that's exactly why people run into those package not found errors you might have seen online. Once the WineHQ repository is added, the system now understands where Wine lives, but it still doesn't immediately use it. Fedora needs a quick refresh so it can sync everything properly. After that, you move into the actual installation phase. At this point, you'll notice something interesting. Wine isn't just a single package anymore. You've got options: stable, development, and staging builds. Stable is what most people should go with. It's tested, reliable, and less likely to break your apps. Development is newer but less polished, and staging includes experimental patches that can improve compatibility for certain apps, but also introduce instability. Once you choose your version and install it, Fedora pulls in a bunch of supporting components automatically. That includes libraries needed for both 64-bit and 32-bit applications, which is important because a lot of older Windows apps still rely on 32-bit architecture. Now, here's the part most tutorials rush through: the first launch. The moment you run Wine for the first time, it creates something called a Wine prefix. This is basically your fake Windows environment inside Linux. It builds a folder structure that mimics a Windows system drive, installs core components, and prepares everything so Windows apps can run like they're on a real PC. You'll also get a prompt to install Wine Mono or Gecko. These aren't random pop-ups, they're required for things like .NET apps or embedded web content. Just let them install. Skipping them usually causes issues later. Once that setup finishes, you're ready to run your first Windows application. You can simply open any exe file, and it should launch just like it would on Windows. Some apps work instantly, others might need a bit of tweaking. And this is where tools like WineTricks come in. They help you install extra components like DirectX, fonts, or Visual C++ libraries, basically the stuff many Windows apps silently depend on. Now, one thing you should keep in mind: Wine is powerful, but it's not perfect. Some apps run flawlessly, some need adjustments, and a few just won't work at all. That's normal. Compatibility depends on how the app was built and what Windows features it relies on. But when it works, it really works. You get near-native performance, no heavy virtualization, and your Linux system stays clean and fast. So yeah, if you're on Fedora 44, this method gives you the proper Wine setup, not the broken half install people usually end up with. Take it slow, follow the flow, and once it's done, you've basically unlocked a whole new layer of software on Linux. And honestly, that's where Fedora starts to feel a lot more flexible.